Hello friends, welcome to the channel The World of Ayurveda. In previous blog we were talking about the digestion of the food in the small intestine, Grahini, and its absorption, how it is regulated as per the requirement of the individual. Small intestine was a narrow tube but a long tube because it has a very important function of not only digestion of the food as well as absorption of the food. Now, once the digestion and absorption of the food is completed, in other words, once the ahar ras is absorbed into the circulation for further distribution to the various structures of the body for its processing, the leftover, which includes the undigested part of the food, primarily which is cellulose, as well as lot of content of the water with small amount of digested food enters the large intestine at the level of first part of the large intestine, the cecum. Friends, sthulantra or large intestine is known as Purishvaha Srotas in Ayurvedic literature. Its very nomenclature makes it very clear as to what is the role of this particular part of the gastrointestinal tract, the digestive system of the body. Now this around 5 feet long tube is wider in diameter, it's around 3 inches, and it is placed across the abdomen as inverted U structure. It starts from the cecum, and then there is ascending colon, then there is transverse colon, descending colon, which culminates into sigmoid colon, then there is rectum, anal canal, and then anus. The apan vayu is most active in this particular part of the intestine. The large intestine has a unique structure that it has a circular muscular structure like small intestine, over which there are longitudinal band of longitudinal muscles, and as a result of it, it gets folded up into various rostrations. It doesn't have that smooth lining or villi as we see in small intestine, and does not secrete much of the enzymes for digestion of the food. Its principal role is the absorption of water as well as few vitamins, especially B12 and vitamin K, which are created in this particular part of the intestine by bacterial action into the circulation. The major component or the major responsibility of this part of intestine is giving the base products of the ahar or food eaten, the mal roop. I believe that two major mal, that is mutra or urine and purish or stool, are created in this particular part of the gastrointestinal tract. With the help of the Vayu, there is further absorption of the fluids from the fecal matter, so that by the time it reaches the rectum, where it has to be stored, it is left with hardly 50 cc of the water. The assertion of Ayurvedic literature that Sthulantra, or the large intestine, is seat of formation of the urine in human body further signifies the important role plays this structure in our body. The inner lining of the large intestine is lined by mucus secreting cells we call as goblet cells, they secrete mucus. As a result of it, the stool remains slimy and soft and can be easily transported against the large colon. Friends, large colon normally has predominance of circular segmental movements which help in absorption of the fluid contents of the rough phase of the food. But the longitudinal muscles like small intestine does not push the stool in the same speed forward as they were doing it in small intestine. While it takes 3 to 4 hours for the food eaten to reach from stomach to the large intestine, it may take 15 to 18 hours for the food to start from the cecum till it is passed in the fecal matter. Biggest reason for that is that food is stored as waste in the rectum, where it actually gets the shape of the fecal matter. Now the large intestine's longitudinal muscles do get special contractions on stimulation from the stomach that are propulsive contraction, and this is given the technical name as gastrocolic reflex, which comes 2 to 3 times in a day and gets associated with desire to pass the stool. If this reflex is very frequent, there may be tendency to repeatedly pass the stool. Friends, it is believed that large intestine does not play much role as far as absorption of the digested food is concerned. It can only absorb the crystallites, and there is no actual active absorption in the large intestine. But Ayurveda believes that this important structure of the body can be utilized for transmission of drugs into the circulation, for the nutrition of the body, and especially for normalizing the activities of Vata dosh inside the body. That is why the important procedure of Panchkarma, Basti, is associated with pushing the drugs, the oils, into the large gut, from where it is believed that their active components or they have the influence over the body physiology to correct the same. Otherwise, normally the large intestine can only absorb fluids and crystallites which are sometimes given through the anal route for absorption into the circulation in certain conditions. Now, as far as the process of passage of stool is concerned, normally it is monitored that while the stools are there in the rectum, or they are ready to be passed as the fecal matter, they should not be very dry. They are normally semi-solid and what we commonly call as well-formed. And when the gastrocolic reflex comes over there, then this fecal matter crosses the anal canal and is passed out. This does not stick to the rectum wall, neither it sticks to the anal canal because it is so slimy. But sometimes the stool matter, which have to be slimy, gets very hard, and even fecolates or pellet-like feces may be formed because of excessive absorption of the aqueous content out of the fecal matter. But sometimes the stool may retain a lot of water. As a result of it, it remains semi-solid, or even it may contain high fluidity. As a result of it, there is soft or watery stool passed by the individual, which we commonly call as diarrhea. In the next episode, we will talk some more specific feature of the large intestine. Till then, I will like to get your comments and suggestions on this episode or on the mail of this web series. The mail ID is the Ayurved helpline @gmail.com. I will repeat it, the Ayurveda helpline @gmail.com. Thank you very much.